Comes a new challenger.
How's this match gonna shake out? It's gonna be exciting to see.
不死には参る。
いい戦いになりそうだ。
Round 1. Fight.
Let's see what they try to do here in the first round. Waiting for the opponent to make the first move. Opts for the throw. Well, they managed to escape the corner, but they can't let their guard down. Any developments early in the round will set the table for the rest of the fight. What are they thinking here? They gotta make sure not to splurge with that drive gauge and leave themselves vulnerable. Trips them up. Player 1 can't afford to get hit again, but still has a chance to take Getzo. Player 2 sets the tone with that wins. Let's see if they can keep it up.
Round 2. Fight.
Goes in on the impact for nothing. Grabs him. Good work staying in throw range there. This may be it. Throw connection does big damage. Hits them with the counter throw. Were they baiting them into that? Scrapping it out up close. Full SA meters on deck for both sides. This could be over soon. Drive impact misses. This is gonna be bad news. A real experiencing burnout. Super clutch corner switch. Are they thinking about how to steal this round? Knockdown! Here comes the mix-up. The KO! Player 2 brings it home. Let's see if they can build themselves a streak. It's not over yet. Best believe it's time for that run back. So, what are our fighters planning in this opening round? Uses the target combo to take a chunk of damage off the opponent. Neither of them willing to back off. The move whiffs and they get nailed with a punish counter. Takes a trip. Player 1 creates a good corner opportunity. If they can't escape this rock-solid corner pressure, this round is over. Taking stock. Digs in deep to get that drive in. Life lead opens up. Good job blocking the KO. Player 1 takes the round like a thief in the night. What else can they get away with?
Round 2. Fight.
Starting off with fireballs right from the get-go. They can't squander this punish counter chance. Sees it coming and blocks it out. Forcefully closes the gap. Hits him with a stop and fire. Super on deck for both fighters. Expect to see some fireworks. This is where smart meter management is going to come into play. Our fighters will need to tread carefully. Player 1 has an empty drive gear. Crowns him from above. Still scrapping for control of sets up with closes it out. Last round, people. Both fighters gotta go all in from this point.
Final round. Fight.
Back at the start. They're not taking any chances. Attempts to break this. Perfect execution with the anti-air. Baits out the attack and gets the punish counter. It's back with the drive impact on the recovery. This punish counter presents a huge chance. Both are ready to pull the trigger on their super. Nothing stops this train. Target combo into. Will this super art do anything? Raw super art incoming. Wants to close it out in style, but is it enough? Couldn't finish them off. Can they still take the round? Go out of sight. Noticeable life lead. This can lead to some big damage. Somehow manages to block the jump in. I can't. Breaking them shins with the low heavy. What a statement with that jump. Are you kidding me? Player 2 has got to be feeling good getting the win out of that absolute carnage. It's not over yet. Best believe it's time for that run back. Tricky hidden variable. Hidden variable? Player 2 chases them down. Keeping them in the corner will only produce more damage opportunities. Tons of drive and health to work with. Oh! Brushes off the throw. Combo with the target combo. Throws them. What's next? Neither of them willing to back off here. Takes a trip. Player 2 creates a good corner opportunity. Long low attack hit. Reads their mind and techs the throw. KO! Player 1 takes the round like a thief in the night. What else can they get away with?
Round 2. Fight.
Starting off with fireballs right from the get-go. The next round is beginning. What's gonna happen now? The jump in catches them. You can open up chances to do big damage by baiting something out, getting that opening, and then jumping in. Player 2 will look to apply pressure here. Goes with the safe stuff with that target. Super art on the low. Looking to follow up after that target. Goes out of sight. Over Shin has Shogeki to push forward. KO. This is the final round. Expect to see some fireworks.
Final round. Fight.
Player 2 flipping the script with an overhead attack. It's time. The super doesn't hit. Tricky hidden variable. Risky up close scrap scoop. The low. Smart stuff, poking up that range to zone the opponent. Next, the counter. Goes out of sight. Player 2, nothing stops this train. There's the burnout. Player 1 is in throw zone. How long can this offensive assault continue? Player 2 can't let this simmer. They gotta start cooking. Reads the jump in perfectly. Low heavy with authority. Gotta hand it to both of our fighters. They put on a real clinic.
Comes a new challenger.
This isn't about just winning the match. Pride and bragging rights are at stake here. Both fighters will need to bring their A game to the table.
Round 1. Fight.
Let's see what they try to do here in the first round. Checks with the projectile. Both fighters are pretty much unscathed. How are they going to deal damage? What's the play here? Throws them down. The throw hits. Now the fun begins. Player 1 chases them down. Huge opportunity here with no way to backdash out of danger. Throws them. What's next? That's some big juicy damage on that counter hit. Neither of them willing to back off here. Player 1 is maintaining the corner position for some juicy damage. Takes a trip, takes a big gamble, and rips out a raw super. They may need to spend some meter here in order to close out this round. Takes in the throw. Player 2 picks up the always important first round. They'll want to keep the ball rolling.
Round 2. Fight.
Opts to create space to start. Are we going to see some fireworks here? Slows them to negate the block. Closes the gap for the grab. Smart play with the throw. Still slugging it out at this range. One mistake here is all that's needed to finish the round. Drops him hard. Ooh, there's a crowns him from above. Player 2 needs to use the threat of the corner. Oh, no question whether this super art is going to kill or not. Taking no prisoners. We're going into the final round tied up. Which fighter has it in them to grind out the win?
Final round. Fight.
Player 1 is on track to steal this back after that super. Can they keep on? Brushes that off and keeps going. Both players look for something, finds the target. Player 2 is working with a better gauge. What can they do with it? What separates the good from the great in this game is smart gauge management. Spends it all on the super. Not shy one bit about it. Player 2, there's a burnout. Low heavy. Jumps. What are they gonna do? He shakes things up with a fireball. All the throw connects. Ugh, take a seat. Player 1 can't use any drive moves. Gotta play it safe. They didn't take the throw. Player 2 clinches the win. But that could have been anyone's game. No way we could have called that. They're still hungry. Both sides stepping up for the rematch. Perfect execution with the anti-air. Jumps up. There's a change of side. Avoids getting cornered. Taking stock. Still slugging it out. The move whiffs and they get nailed with a punish counter. Takes a trip. Throws him down. Big counter. Heading into the end game now. There's the impact. Not letting him get the counter hit for the win. They're so good at whiff punishing. Player 2 picks up the always important first round. They'll want to keep the ball rolling. Ooh, it looks like they're waiting to see what the opponent wants. Going on the offensive? Good job blocking the jump in. They're showing us just how patient they can be. Blocking a jump in attack means you're at a disadvantage, so they should be looking to anti-air instead. Hits them with a stop and block. Very slick with the combo. Still slugging it out at this range. Are we gonna see a comeback here? Player 2 is in a very good spot. Yo, critical art now? This is gonna kill, no doubt about it. Flatline zone. Player 2 gets the win in a convincing fashion. They're still hungry. Both sides stepping up for the rematch. Ooh, it looks like they're waiting to see what the opponent wants to do first. It's the start of the round. How will they start their approach? What are these fighters thinking now? The fighters take a step back to reassess. Time for a new game plan. Okay, takes them all the way to the corner. Clear that neither of them wants to be in the corner. Knockdown. Player 2 has them legit shook in the corner. Charges in with authority. Will they build meter or just go all in on each other? I want to see how they manage their SA gauge here. This is the perfect range to reach out and tag them with something. Somehow pushes back all the way to center stage. Can't tech the throw? Knockdown. Heading into the end game now. Gets him. Player 2 picks up the always important first round. They'll want to keep the ball rolling.
Round 2. Fight.
Ooh, it looks like they're waiting to see what the opponent wants to do first. Fantastic reactions there. Brushes that off and keeps going. This fight is just underway. What kind of game plan do they have? Confirm on the impact. Not a counter, but they'll take it. Player 1 just goes for it at this range. Player 1 is in a pretty good situation with a meter advantage. They're going for the super art. They're thinking of scoring big off this kick. Oh, the throw connects. What'll happen here? They gotta pull the trigger on their rushes in. What's next? Player 1 can't let. No way. No signs of letting up from out of the flatline zone. Here's the final round. The real fight starts now.
Final round. Fight!
Opens with the fireball. Who will come out on top in this final round? There's an overdrive arc. Ooh, there's a side switch. This could be throw is denied. What a read! Crowns him from above. Side switch. What now? Player 1 is in burnout state. A very precarious situation. This is where we can expect some make. Reads the jump in perfectly. Are they going to be able to come back and snatch victory from the... Oh! Block to throw heavy out of nowhere! Player 1 really had to fight for that one! No shortage of drama!
Comes a new challenger.
They're all fired up. We're almost underway.
俺剣山
楽しめそうじゃん。
Round 1. Fight!
Here we go. What are these fighters going to do? Put one in the pocket. Okay, we're in the early stages of the round. And any developments early in the round will set the table for the rest of the fight. Player 2 has them legit shook in the corner. Okay, takes them all the way to the corner. Good job here in giving themselves a chance to gain the upper hand. All right, what's coming up next? The drink level's at 4. All inhibitions are out the window. Reads their mind and texts a throw. This is the perfect range to reach out and tag them with something. Both fighters planning something? Player 1 can't use any more drive without burning out. Both can end the round now, and the drive gauge disparity may come into play. In there! Player 2 picks up the first round. That'll give them a psychological advantage.
Round 2. Fight!
Immediate jump in. The next round is beginning. What's gonna happen now? Both fighters are looking for a way to get in, but there's still time. Hits them with a stopping block. Taking stock. Anthony! Looking for a chance. A quick breather. Grabs and throws them away. Player 1 can't use any drive moves without burning out. Smart play with the throw. Max SA gauges. Unbelievably in sync with the... Ooh, what a smart throw! Clutch anti-air. Still scrapping for control of the space. Raw super hard incoming. That's not gonna hit. Breaks through with the throw. Player 2 brings it home. Let's see if they can build themselves a streak.
Round
It's
1.
not over yet. Best believe it's time for that run back. Gets the parry in and adds some pressure. Grabs him. Lots of aggression from both sides. Uses a drive parry against the attack. Parry here puts drive gauge in the bank, which really could help later in the round. Uses the parry. Takes a trip. Throws them to negate the block. We're near the end of the round. Can either fighter pull a rabbit out of their hat here? In a dire situation, they can't afford any mistakes. Gets the knockdown, and now, all right, what's coming up next? Where's their opening? somehow pushes back all the way to center stage. KO! Player 2 takes the round like a thief in the night. What else can they get away with?
Round 2. Fight.
Ooh, it looks like they're waiting to see what the opponent wants to do first. Did well to get the buff in there. Player 2 kept their drive gauge topped off through that round and still took the win. Guess they didn't need it. Swagger step. At this range, many attacks can connect if you stick something out. The neutral game is very important here. Misses the grab. Grabs and throws him away. That throw will do some good damage. Both fighters have a full super meter on. Connects with the throw. Both fighters planning drives, in fact misses. Player 2 is in a bit, doesn't check the throw. Player 2 gets the win in a convincing fashion. How is this rematch going to play out? Are we going to witness a blow-up here? Hits him with a stop and pop. Had the radar up and running. Gets the jump in. Anticipates the overhead. At this range, many attacks can connect if you stick something out. The neutral game is very important. Player 2 is almost dead, but some clutch drive moves and a few prayers could turn this around in their favor. Nails the anti-air. Oh, easy tech. In a dire situation, they can't afford any mistakes. Experiencing burnout. Player 1 needs to hold out until their drive gauge closes with the throw. Hitting them with the smart stuff. Player 2 picks up the always important first round. They'll want to keep the ball rolling. Time for a drink. Ends the meter, hoping for a good return. Goes for the Sakai Fuhazan. Vintage Jury. Will that super be the turn into a super art? The super doesn't hit. Getting tipsy with the devil inside. Player 1 has the meter lead. Knockdown. Player 2 needs to use the threat of the corner here. Just goes for it at this range. Utilizes the parry here to try and establish the pace. Gotta be careful not to whiff at this range. Drink level max out. This party, perfect execution with the anti-air. Yo, are they actually dead? Couldn't finish them off. Can they still take the round? Too far for the throw to cut. That throw's gonna take off a chunk of damage. Get them with a quick low kick. Here's the final round. The real fight starts now.
Final round. Fight.
Loads up a buff. Hits him with his free flow. Both fighters look to set things up as they continue to jostle for position. They're waiting for the opportunity to bust this match wide open. Took him to the corner in a flash. Both fighters desperately want neither here. Resource management is the key to winning. Getting tipsy with the devil inside. They decide to take a breather to regroup. Out of range, relatively safe.
どっからでもかかってきなよ
Oh my god, they just choked it up! Player 2 has a big drive gauge lead. Drive gauge is almost empty. They gotta be careful. Hugs nothing but air. Throws them. Knockdown and... Player 2 hits them with a stop and pop. Player 2 needs to anticipate that throw. All the throw connects. Player 2 is gonna bear the drive impact. Get him up close and personal. Reads the jump in perfectly. So heavy. What will be the follow-up here? Noticeable life lead. Is a comeback still possible? Party time. Catching them. They're just gonna go for it with the super. The next touch may decide this round. Time's almost up. They didn't take the throw. Player 2 was definitely sweaty during that well-earned win. It's not over yet. Best believe it's time for that run back. What? Anti-air. The low kick hits. Goes air to air and takes their turn. Brushes that off and keeps going. Turns it up a notch and sends them to the corner. Takes a trip. Combo with the target combo. Gets the jump in. They can open up this round big by converting this punishment. What's their game plan here at this critical stage? Life lead opens up. Rejects the air attack. Player one takes the round like a thief in the night. What else can they get away with? They've piled up the knowledge. Now, how are they going to use it? Somehow pushes back all the way to center stage. Does a good job escaping the corner. Player two is working with a better gauge. What can they do with it? Level 3 super! Sending that meter like it's nobody's business. Knockdown and... Now, can they finish the job? They are really going at each other this round. The reads they make now will be key. A quick breather. Hits him with his free flow. Hits up the counter. This is going to be huge. Player one is in a very good spot. The flatlines in. Player one brings it home. Let's see if they can build themselves a streak.
Comes a new challenger.
This isn't about just winning the match. Pride and bragging rights are at stake here. Both fighters will need to bring their A game to the table.
Round one. Fight.
Here we go. What are these fighters going to do? Puts one in the pocket. Finds the time to squeeze in a buff. Okay, we're in the early stages of the round. Both fighters are pretty much unscathed. How are they going to deal damage? What's the play here? Goes for the throw. The throw hits. Now the fun begins. Was well in range to score the throw. Taking stock. Gets the jump in. The fighters are matching each other move for move going into the midway point of the match. Neither of them willing to back off here. Long low attack hits. Great work finding the opening. Both fighters are barely alive. Drink level 4 and now a full house to play with. They're low on both life and they kept a close eye on the skies and it paid off. Good reactions there. Player one with the first strike, but they can't get complacent.
Round two. Fight.
Immediate jump in. Brushes that off and keeps going. Looking to impress with this super. That's not gonna hit. Breaks the block with a throw. That throw will do some good damage. Good job escaping that dangerous corner situation. From upstairs. Still slugging it out at this range. Sneaks in above. Hits him with a stop and block. Both fighters. Ooh, what a smart throw. Quick breather. Player sets up with the what a finish! Player 1 is a force to be reckoned with. It's not over yet. Best believe it's time for that run back. The first round begins. No time to save that stuff for Nationals. It's time to go all in. Player 1 is maintaining the corner position for some juicy damage. Low heavy hit. Picks up some damage with a long reaching attack. Not letting that go. You always look up when they're cornered. Big counter. The quarter makes it hard to escape. What'll be the setup here? The attack is parried. Knockdown. Experiencing burnout. Just out of range for that throw. Takes a trip. This is the range where things, and that's a KO. Timed that perfectly. Player 1 picks up the first round. That'll give them a psychological advantage.
Fight.
Ooh, it looks like they're waiting to see what the opponent wants to do first. Fantastic reaction there. Smart play there to go for the air-to-air. Even if it can't lead to a combo, it's low risk but effective. Player 2 chases them down. A quick breather, brushes that off and keeps going. Nails the overdrive arrow kick. Going in? One mistake ends the meter. Hoping for a good return. Player 2 will look to apply pressure. Knock them out of the air. Player the low. Knockdown and drops them hard. Player 1 with a rhythm, owning that they couldn't tech the throw. Player 1 brings it home. Let's see if they can build themselves a streak. They're all fired up. We're almost underway.
逃がさねえよ。
手加減は期待しないでくれ。
Round 1. Fight.
Let's see what they try to do here in the first round. They gotta escape from the corner before the pressure builds up. Good job here in giving themselves a chance to gain the upper hand. The air throw is smart, but out of reach. Gets the jump in. Knockdown. Life lead is opening up, but that can still be overcome with smart drive use. Takes a trip. Absorbs the attack and fires back. Heading into the KO. Player 2 on the board first with the win. They'll want to keep the pressure on.
Round 2. Fight.
Fights out of the corner, back to the center of this, converts the opening impact into a punish counter. Shippo Jinrai doing the business. Player 2 has a slight life, hits him with a stop and block. Now, can they finish the job? What'll happen here? Player 1 is working with a better game. What can they do with it? Blocks the low kick. Player knocked him out of the air. Pumps the brakes on the impact. The low. What now? Player 1 knockdown. Here comes the mix-up. Player 1 is in a very good spot. What a finish! Player 2. This is gonna be a 5-star match. Get ready for history to be made.
手加減は期待しないでくれ。
Round one. Fight.
Here we go. What are these fighters going to do? Peppering them in the corner. Buy some time by driving them into the corner. And now they can create some big chances to do damage here. Player 1 has them legit shook in the corner. That drive impact is blocked. Player 2 has used up all of their drive down to the wire. Player 2 is in burnout. Drives off the table. Knockdown. This is the perfect range to reach out and tag them with something. In a dire situation, they can't afford any mistakes. Slips the grab. Shoots off a fireball up close. Love tap to close it. Player 1 hits up the always important first round. They'll want to keep the ball rolling. They've both showed their hands a little bit, so they must be thinking of a counter. This fight is just underway. What kind of game plan do they have? Taking stock. Player 1 needs to use the threat of the corner here. Big chance here to do some damage if they can keep the corner pressure up. Both fighters have a full super meter on deck. The winner will be the one who manages it best. This is where smart meter management is going to come into play. Our fighters will need to tread carefully. Gotta be careful not to whip at this range. Big throws. Jumps up. Knockdown. Here comes the mix-up. Throws a fireball. Player 2 will look to apply pressure here. Oh, they switch sides. Burnout activates. Impact, squash. They're taking a step back to slow down the pace. Quick dash. So, what's next? Quick step forward. Now they can use drive. Oh, and eats it. Closes it out. Here's the final round. The real fight starts now. Goes out of sight. It's time for both fighters to lay it all on the line. Sets up the trap. Player 1 with the rhythm, owning that space. Turning it right up with the super. Spins it all up the super. Not shy one bit about it. Player 2 needs to take advantage of this gauge disparity. This is a bad, risky play, but it pays off. Cross-up attack. Taking chunks out of each other here. Knocks off the tank and scores the win. Player 1 is a force to be reckoned with.
Round one.
They're still hungry. Both. It's a mirror match. There's gonna be a lot of pride on the line for this one.
Round one.
Let's see what they try to do here in the first round. What is he thinking? Goes for the low kick. Picks up the win with the counter hit. Looked like they were baiting their opponent into making a mistake. Player 2 sets the tone with that win. Let's see if they can keep it up. Projectile to try and change the situation. Gets the knockdown, and now, smart stuff, poking at that range to zone the opponent. That's not gonna hit. Shows a medium kick. A quick breather. Not much life. Fires off the Chiku. Ends the round with a sick combo. Amazing.
Real.
What?
Here comes a new challenger.
Our fighters are ready to get down to it, so let's start the match and see what these warriors are capable of. Here we go. What are these fighters going to do? Waiting for the opponent to make the first move. Player 2 pushes the opponent into the corner. buy some time by driving them into the corner. And now they can create some big chances to do damage here. Definitely shuts out the jump in. The low is denied. Stands firm and blocks the drive impact. Drive impact is blocked, but takes a bite out of the drive gauge to apply some pressure. Uncomfortable space here. Can they clip each other on the edge? That drive impact is blocked. The drive impact whiffs. Are they ready to punish? Heading into the end game now. It's getting tense. KO. Player 2 sets the tone with that win. Let's see if they can keep it up. They both showed their hands a little bit, so they must be thinking of a counter. Player 2 did a great job of maintaining their drive gauge during that last round. It's going to be even more important in this next round to keep that up to help strengthen their ground game. Hits them with a stopping body. Burnout activated. Player 2 has an empty drive gauge. This is a very precarious low heavy. Opts for the critical arc. The Getsuga Saiho hits. We're about to see a freestyle frenzy with no retakes. Player 2 needs the low kick hits. The low. Can they use their resource? Solid anti-air. Look, anti-air in the truck got amazing. Never say die attitude got them the win. Last round, people. Both fighters gotta go all in from this one. This is it. Who's gonna take it all? Looks like they want drops them from the air. Good judgment. Player 2 is working with a better kick. The low kick hits. Nothing stops this train. Okay, here we go. Close range projectile. Low heavy. Oh, here we go. Happy hour. Going in. The low. What's next? Noticeable look. Holy. Hits that with confidence. Oh, combo. Let's go. Oh, this is a complete shutdown. They can't find the target. They are done. Player 2 clinches the win! But that could have been anyone's game. No way we could have...
Comes a new challenger.
And they've gone for the same character. Neither side's gonna want to lose this one.
Round 1. Fight.
The fight's now underway. This is Vicious with the play-by-play. Finds the time to squeeze in above. It's the start of the round. How will they start their approach? Player 1 has them legit shook in the corner. Let's see how they apply their corner pressure in this situation. Player 2 can't afford to get hit again, but still has a chance to take the round if they can find openings to use their drive. All right, what's coming up next? That's one huge KO. Player 1 sets the tone with that win. Let's see if they can keep it up. How will they take advantage of everything that's happened up until now? Opts for the free flow kicks to get a drink in. The fighters return to the middle of the stage. Does a good job escaping the corner. Taking stock. Goes for the super arc. The super doesn't hit. Drive gauge management here is going to be vital. Player 1 is working with a better gauge. What can they do with it? Swagger step. Player 1 holding on to that corner advantage. Goes with a safe stuff reversal. You got him. Oh, what's this? Yes, drive impact for the win. Player one may have a well of untapped potential.
Comes a new challenger.
They're all fired up. We're almost underway.
逃がさねえよ。
負けても泣くなよ。
Round one. Fight.
Let's see what they try to do here in the first round. Starts with a jump in. Well, they managed to escape the corner, but they can't let their guard down. Escapes the corner to reset the situation. Trips them up. Whiffs the throw. Throws them to negate the block. Closes the gap for the grab. Player two is maintaining the corner position for some juicy damage. Life lead opens up, so they break forward to pressure the opponent. Does a good job of pushing back. Cleans up the round, ending it with a powerful drive impact. Player two picks up the first round. That'll give them a psychological advantage. Goes for the jump in to start. Creates an opening with a low heavy. Bops him with a target kick. Player two managed their drive gauge well to create lots of opportunities for themselves. Let's see if they can maintain this rhythm. Now, can they finish the job? Lands the back throw. Time to go to work. Still slugging it out at this range. Crowns them from above. Okay, he throws them. They're back into the corner now. Life lead is there, but still, and it sets up with the jump in. The low. Then pumps the brakes on the impact. Uh-oh. Devil song. Low heavy. Yo, Cutnut gets the tips with the low heavy. This is the final round. Expect to see some fireworks.
Final round. Fight.
Start. This is gonna hurt. Who will come out on top? And nothing stops this train. Connects with the throw. That throw will do some good damage. Jump goes to the air. Sets up with the jump in. Oh, huge hit. Knocked them out of the air. Player two can't let this simmer. The low kick hits. Player two whiffs. They're wide open. Turns out, throws them. Amazing. Knew the throw was coming. Not in range for the throw. Here comes the corner pressure. Player two with the rhythm owning that space. What a clutch low heavy. It is over. Player one is gonna be watching replays for this one for a while. They really took it down to the wire.
Round one.
It's not over yet. Best believe it's time for that run back. Solid anti-air. Brushes that off and keeps going. What's their game plan here at this critical stage? Just out of range for that throw. What's the play here? Player two is maintaining the corner position for some juicy damage. Parries the attack. In a dire situation, they can't afford any mistakes. They got good heads-up decision opting for the drive impact. KO. Player two takes the round like a thief in the night. What else can they get away with? Immediate jump in. They piled up the knowledge. Now, how are they going to use it? Player two won out those close scuffles, and now they gotta have a plan for the next round. Avoids getting stuck in the corner somehow. A quick breather. They may be planning to spend their drive gauge here. Both fighters will have to decide whether they want to go with an all-out offense powered by their drive or play it safe and conservative. They're going for the super art? That's not gonna hit. Player one is working with a better game. What can they do with it? The next touch may decide with more fuel for the fire. Hook them up. What were they thinking? Okay, he hits them with a quick low kick. Here's the final round. The real fight starts now.
Final round. Fight!
Loads up above. Oh, sucks to pry them open. Below. Smart stuff, poking at that range to zone the opponent. Player 1 needs to take advantage of this gauge disparity. Knockdown. Here comes the mix-up. Getting up close, this can lead to some big damage. Ooh, the drive impact hits for a punish. Both sides getting ready. Player 2, low heavy. Connects with the throw. Amazing. Oh man, this is a scary range. Shrugs that off. Target combo into... Jump in? I can't believe it. Ooh, crushes the shins. Even the slightest hit may end the round. They can't afford any mistakes. This is a critical moment. Do they have what it takes to steal the round here? Oh, Satsu! What a sick punish counter!
Jamie
Player 2 was definitely sweaty during that well-earned win.
Here comes a new challenger.
Our fighters are pumping themselves up and are raring to go. Who's going to come out on top in this fight?
Round 1. Fight!
Here we go. What are these fighters going to do? Checking their opponent. Are they trying to slow down the pace with a projectile? Puts one in the pocket. It's the start of the round. How will they start their approach? Plenty of time left. How's the match going to play out? Maintains composure and pushes out of the corner. Will they incorporate that full drive gauge they have into their game plan? Will they use their drive to break through or to turn up the heat? Great work finding the opening. Neither of them willing to back off. The drink level's at 4. All inhibitions are out the window. Takes a big gamble and rips out a raw super. Life lead opens up. Knockdown. Player 1 experiencing burnout. Player 2 has completely used all of their drive gauge, but they still have enough life left to take the round if they play KO. Player 1 with a big first round pickup. Can they close it out?
Round 2. Fight!
Immediate jumping. The impact doesn't do anything. Pushes that off and keeps going. Both fighters are looking for a way to get in, but there's still time to feel out the situation. Keeping track of the opponent's movements, waiting for a good opening. Grabs and throws them away. But there's the drive impact that's going to lead to a juicy punish counter. Player 1 can't use any drive moves without burning out. Then hits him with a stop and pop. Player 1 in dire straits with burnout. Super wrecks them. Can they create an opportunity for themselves to seal the deal? Were they baiting them into that? Closes it out. We're going into the final round tied up. Which fighter has it in them to grind out the win? Opens with the fire. Brushes that off and keeps going. Both players look for something to work with, but neither are getting the opening they want. Player 2 with the rhythm owning that space. This is a bad situation to be in. Raw super hard incoming. What were they thinking? Stuff hoses them. Nothing stops this train. Here comes a big combo. Oh, they're gonna beat in the middle. More fuel to the fire. Hook them up. They gotta find something to block. Kisses the fireball. Player 1 made some smart moves there. Great game.
Here comes a new challenger.
Our fighters are ready to get down to it, so let's start the match and see what these warriors are capable of.
勝負よ。
負けても泣くなよ。
Round one. Fight.
All right, first round. What's going to happen? Corner switch means they can now go on the offensive. Now they get pushed into the corner, where it's going to be very difficult to escape. Player 2 has them legit shook in the corner. Just out of range for that throw. Player 2 in that dangerous burnout state. We have one player in burnout state, which means they'll have to continue the fight temporarily without using any drive-reliant moves. Grabs him, knockdown. Whiffs the throw. Takes a trip, picks up the win with the counter hit. Looked like they were baiting their opponent into making a mistake. Player 1 picks up the always important first round. They'll want to keep the ball rolling. Big count hits him with a stop and block. Swagger step. Jumps in. Player 2 creates a good corner opportunity. Uses the gauge for the super. They're not playing around here. They're thinking of scoring big off this gauge use. What'll happen here? Player 1 holding on to that corner advantage. There's a change of sides. Player 1 they're going for the super art, serving them a severe beatdown, and the fun's just starting. Life lead is there, but still anyone's game. Closes it out. Here's the final round. The real fight starts now.
Final round. Fight.
Happy hour. Buffs while they're blinking. Player 1 will look to apply pressure here. This is a complete wreck them. Player 1 is in a pretty good situation with the meter advantage. The low. Amazing. Expect to see some. Oh, the throw connects. What's next? Player 2. Nothing stops this train. Ooh, what a smart throw. Both sides getting ready. Watch anti-air. Take that cord away. He's maxed out. Are you kidding me? Player 2 really had to fight for that one. No shortage of drama.
Here comes a new challenger.
This is gonna be a 5-star match. Get ready for history to be made.
新竜参る。
負けても泣くなよ。
Round one. Fight.
Here we go. What are these fighters going to do? Plenty of time left. How's the match gonna play out? They gotta escape from the corner before the pressure builds up. They're not gonna allow any jump-ins. Wow, shut down. All right. Lots of aggression from both sides. Low heavy hits. What are they thinking here? Player 1 has them legit shook in the corner. Very solid corner switch. Does not want to get stuck in the corner. Taking stock. Gets the parry in. The timing was on point with that parry. Baits them into committing to the drive impact and then makes them pay for it. Goes in on the impact for nothing. So they break forward to pressure the opponent. Both fighters decide to reset the pace and assess the situation. They return to center stage. Changing up the beat with the hidden variable. Sneaks in the throw. Player 2 on the board first with the win. They'll want to keep the pressure on. Time for a drink. Ooh, it looks like they're waiting to see what the opponent wants to do first. Decides to buff up while they can. Player 2 did a great job of reading their opponent up close that last round. Can they keep the momentum? Knockdown. Hits them with a vagabond edge. Super art on deck for both fighters. Experiencing burnout. A quick breather. Player 2 in dire straits of burnout. Out of drive gauge. Now's the time. Hits him with his free flow. Took him to the corner in a flash. Drink level max out. This party's getting crazy. Tricky hidden variable. With for Arts into play. It goes out of Oh, is this it? Or are they still in this? What? That was enough to kill? Yo, that read was godlike.
Jamie.
Player 2 brings it home. Let's see if they can build themselves a streak. How is this rematch going to play out? Are we going to witness a blow up here? Medium kick hits. Difficult situation for a throw. Not much damage dealt so far, but they may be looking for an opening to run with. How are they going to deal damage? What's the play here? Ooh, will they hit, whiff, or even charge in? Tricky territory here. That overhead was a bit obvious. They gotta escape from the corner before the pressure builds up. Super meter is looking bare right now. Will they try to hang back to stock up or continue fighting? Gaining some meter would open up the opportunity to deal huge damage, but that's easier said than done. Deal some sick damage in exchange for some meter. Was that a good decision? We're at the halfway point of the round, and both fighters should be well past the warm-up phase. Player 2 needs to deal with this burnout. Oh, can they survive this badly timed burnout? The drink level's up to 4. All options are on the table. Somehow pushes back all the way to center stage. That attack landed for a counter hit. They'll have to decide how to follow up. Who will capitalize on an opening first? A quick breather. Looking for a chance. Both fighters are weighing their options and looking for an opening. Lots of this, they're going for the super art? No time to waste. Great work finding the opening. KO! Player 1 picks up the first round. That'll give them a psychological advantage.
Round 2. Fight.
Jumps up, grabs and throws them away. Player 1 did a great job of maintaining their drive gauge during that last round. It's going to be even more important in this next round to keep that up to help strengthen their ground game. Jumps? What'll happen here? Medium kick hits. Somehow pushes back all the way to center stage. A quick breather. Player 2 has the life lead. Can they use it? There's been some back and forth, but no one has dominated the fight. Just goes for it at this range. That's not gonna hit. Gotta be careful not to whip at this range. Tricky hit at variable. Knockdown and are we gonna see a comeback here? Free flow strikes. Player punish counter on the action. Will they gamble something here on a drive move? The drive gauge finds the target. Flatlines them. Player 1 gets the win in a convincing fashion. It's not over yet. Best believe it's time for that run back. Dashes forward. Good job blocking the jump in. They're showing us just how patient they can be. Player 2 creates a good corner opportunity. Buys some time by driving them into the corner. And now they can create some big chances to do damage here. Uh-oh. Falls short. You do not want to whip an impact. All right, what's coming up next? And a super activation. Looking to score some juicy damage. Taking stock. Heading into the end game now. It's getting tense. With the life gap opening up, they need to lean hard on their drive to KO. Player 2 on the board first with the win. They'll want to keep the pressure on.
Round 2. Fight.
Barely blocks the jump in. They've piled up the knowledge. Now, how are they going to use it? Swagger step. Player 2 creates a good corner opportunity. Big chance here to do some damage if they can keep the corner pressure up. Player 1 is in a pretty good situation with the meat. Burnout activates. Player 2 will brushes that off and keeps going. What'll happen here? Sets up with the jump in. The fight. This is gonna hurt. One chance here may end this match. Hits them with a drive impact. This is the final round. Expect to see some fireworks.
Yay!
Final round. Fight.
Open, reads the jump in perfectly. The last round, it's now or never. Crowns him from above. Taps him on the dome. That's how you force your opponent to do what you want so you can get a punish. What are they gonna do? Dangerous situation, turning it right up with a super. Bushin Ninja Stomp Slice. This is how the Bushin Ryu roll. What's next? Player 2 has the super gauge advantage. Burns out. Both sides get it, meets them air to air. Tries to act quickly with the attack. Getsuga Saiho! You better not blink because this boy's quicker than a freaking hitman. Player 2 can't use any drive moves. Gotta play it safe. Ugh, take a seat! Are you serious? That comeback was unreal! We just saw this fighter play out of their goddamn mind there! Player 2 has gotta be feeling good getting the win out of the... Oh, looks like these two have more beef than a Philly cheesesteak.
武神流ファイル楽しめそうじゃん
Round 1. Fight.
The fight's now underway. This is Vicious with the play-by-play. Wraps it up. Player 2 sets the tone with that win. Let's see if they can keep it up.
Round 2. Fight.
A brave forward jump there to start. All right, what's this is gonna be low heavy connected? Player 2.
Here comes a new challenger.
This is gonna be a 5-star match. Get ready for history to be made.
Round 1. Fight.
Let's see what they try to do here in the first round. Low heavy. The low heavy hits. Picks up some damage with a long reaching attack. Gets a chance without jumping. Still slugging it out here. Takes a trip. Long low attack hits. Gets the jump in. Life lead opens up. All right, what's coming up next? Player 1 is almost dead, and that's a KO. Timed that perfectly.
Round 2.
Player 2 picks up the always important first round. They'll want to keep the ball rolling. They've piled up the knowledge. Now, how are they going to use it? Scrapping it out up close. Player 1 can build off this lead. There's been some back and forth, but no one has dominated the fight. A quick breather. Swagger step. Avoids getting stuck in the corner somehow. Picks up the counter. This is going to be huge. Player 2 is barely hanging in there, but can still mount a cup, throws him. Still slugging it out, cashes out the cage right there. Are we gonna KO? This is the final round. Expect to see some fireworks.
Final round. Fight.
Ooh, it looks like they're waiting to see low heavy. Misses the grab. Here comes the corner pressure. Player 1 holding on to that corner advantage. The low kick hits. Smart stuff, poking at that range to zone the opponent. Pumps the brakes on the impact. Player 1 is in burnout state. Knockdown. Here comes the mix-up. They're in range. This is gonna hurt. A real anti-air in the clutch. Are we gonna see a comeback here? This is so tense. The swagger step sends him flying. Ugh, take a seat. This makes Bear recovered. I can't believe it. This time to bust this out? So heavy out of nowhere. Player 2 clinches the win. But that could have been anyone's game. No way we could have called that. Our fighters are ready to lay it all on the line.
楽しめそうじゃん。
Round 1. Fight.
The fight's now underway. This is vicious with the playback. Trips him up. Tries to go in with the throw. Player 2 sets the tone with that win. Let's see if they can keep it up.
Round 2. Fight.
Checks him with the projectile. Throws him. What's next? Gets the knockdown and now hits him with a stopping bomb. Player 2 holding on to that corner advantage. They quickly get back into the corner of the stage. Going in? Both of them were ready for a throw. Full SA meters on deck for both sides.
Comes a new challenger.
They're all fired up. We're almost underway.
Round 1. Fight.
Let's see what they try to do here in the first round. Goes for the low kick. The low heavy hits. Picks up some damage with a long reaching attack. Player 1 chases them down. Takes a trip. Absorbs the attack and fires back. Taking stock. Gets the counter hit throw. This is the perfect range to reach out and tag them with something. Heading into the end game now. It's get perfect read to get the finish with the low attack. Player 2 picks up the first round. That'll give them a psychological advantage. Gets the jump in. They've piled up the knowledge. Now, how are they going to use it? I can't keep track of these corner switches. Steals back a chance. Backs them into the corner in a hurry. Gotta be careful not to whiff at this range. Smart play with the throw. Going in. Super, ooh, what's this? What's gonna happen? Digs in deep to get that drive in. What'll happen here? Watching each other carefully. Who'll make the first move? Time to reassess the situation? Gotta do better than that. Sets up with the jump in. Plenty of health, full gauges, let's go. Oh, here's the low. Player 1 with the rhythm, owning that space. Party time. Catches them in the full storm. Players, will this super art do anything? That nice one. What a finish. Gotta hand it to both of our fighters. They put on a real clinic for us. It's not over yet. Best believe it's time for that run back. Throws him. What's next? Well-timed corner switch. Does not want to get stuck in the corner. Player 2 creates a good corner opportunity. That's some big juicy damage on that counter hit. Player 1 is maintaining the corner position for some juicy damage. I'd like to see them use this drive disparity to shift the tide of the fight to their side. Life lead opens up. Takes a trip. With the throw. This is the range where things get messy. Can they utilize their KO? Player 1 picks up the first round. That'll give them a psychological advantage. Looks to drop him to earth. That attack landed for a counter hit. They'll have to decide how to follow up. That's a counter. Swagger step. Player 1 needs to use the threat of the corner here. Throw leads him, ends the meter, hoping for a good return. The Getsuga Saiho hits. We're about to see a freestyle frenzy with no retakes. Okay, here we go. Like this can lead to some big damage. This is gonna kill, no doubt about it. Flatline zone. We're going into the final round tied up. Which fighter has it in them to grind out the win?
Final round. Fight.
Open with the low kick hit. Hits him with a stopping block. Swagger step. Time for a drink. The low. Smart stuff, poking at that range to zone the opponent. Oh man, this is a scary low heavy. Okay, here we go. Oh my god, what a throw tech. This is nothing stops this train. Carries them all the way to the corner and what move? Are you kidding me? Player 1 is a force to be reckoned with. It's not over yet. Best believe it's time for that run back. Ooh, it looks like they're waiting to see what the opponent wants to do first. Jumps up.
I'm in there.
Goes for the low kick. Knockdown. At this range, many attacks can connect if you stick something out. The neutral game is very important. Knockdown. Life lead is opening up, but that can still be overcome with smart drive use. Heading into the end game. Now, there's the impact. Not letting that go unpunished. Low heavy hits. Mix up incoming. Go starts to pry them open. They're going for the super art. That's not gonna hit. Breaks those shins. Comes from behind to pick up the win. They took advantage of every chance. Player 2 with a good start to the fight, but can they keep it up? Air throw whip. Swagger step. Big counter. That's some big juicy damage on that counter hit. What'll happen here? Player 1 will look to apply pressure here. A quick breather. Player 1 holding. Just goes for it at this range. Their life is hanging by a thread. They gotta lean heavily on their drive moves now. The swagger step sends them. Oh, yo! Rock super hit. Life lead is there, but still anyone's game. Low heavy. Flatline zone. We're going into the final round tied up. Which fighter has it in them to grind out the win? Who will come out on top of the low? Hits up the count, blocks the low kick. Gotta do better than that. Crowns him from above. Connects with the throw. That throw will do some good damage. The jump in is denied. Throws him. Okay, here we go. This can lead to some big damage. Wow, that throw did some juicy damage. Player 2 with the rhythm. The low kick hits. Breaking them shins with the low heavy. This is it. What a clutch low heavy. Ugh, take a seat. Are you kidding me? Player 2 is gonna be watching replays for this one for a while. They really took it down to the wire. They're still hungry. Both sides stepping up for the rematch. Knockdown. Here comes the mix-up. Swagger step. Low heavy hits. Mix-up incoming. Uses a long-range attack there to zone them perfectly. Decides to go in with the target combo. Well, they manage to escape the corner, but they can't let their guard down. Gets out of the corner and creates some distance. At this range, many attacks can connect if you stick something out. The neutral game is very important. Goes for the super art? Uses the gauge. Can this super art set things into motion? Who will capitalize on an opening first? Gets the jump in. One hit will win this. They were not cleared for takeoff. Player 1 wins the first round and is now riding a huge wave of momentum.
Round 2. Fight.
That's a counter. Hits up the counter. This is going to be huge. Big opportunity coming. Avoids getting cornered. Player 1 needs to use the threat of the corner read. Genius read. Player 2 holding on to that corner advantage. Breaks the block with a throw. A quick breather. The low kick hits. Still slow. Knockdown. Here comes the mix-up. Player 1 can't let this tip on super art. That's not gonna hit. Throws him. Okay, here we go. Anticipated that throw. Player 2 with the rhythm. What a finish. Here's the final round. The real fight starts now. Starts things off with a jump, brushes that off and keeps going. Ooh, what a smart throw. Jump drops them from the air. Good judgment there. Low heavy. What now? Connects with the throw. What are they gonna do? Both stop crowns them from above. Player 2. This can lead to some big damage. No! Critical art now? Gets the low. Angel breaking them shins with the low heavy. Good decision with that throw. Drop zone, baby. Throw heavy out of nowhere. I've seen a lot of fights in my day, but nothing.
comes a new challenger. Round one. Fight. Round two. Fight.俺の世界に酔ったかよ。Final round. Fight. Jamie wins! Comes a new challenger. Round one. Fight. Hadouken! 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 Round two. Fight. two. Fight. 'Comes a new challenger. Round one. Fight. Round two. Fight. Hadouken! 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 Tatsumaki Senbun! Hadouken! 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 Ryu wins! Round one. Fight! チェロ